Long ago, Fat Joe came out and said he lied in 95% of his rhymes. What did you think of that?
He told the truth for the first time, that he's a liar. That you can't believe nothing that comes out of his mouth. He's a liar.
The whole gym.
Like
70 kids without a gun. Like, yo, everybody give me your coats, give me your Walkmans. I couldn't even carry it. Some of the guys I robbed had to help me carry the stuff with them.
Fat Joe has long been known for his legendary storytelling. He's the kind of rapper who can spin a tale so wild people can't help but listen. But as time's gone on...
Would you call Fat Joe hip-hop's biggest liar?
100%.
How's that?
Fat Joe's always lying.
Many of his so-called classics have been labeled flat-out lies, and the industry has noticed. Some even clown him with the nickname Tino. Because while Joe is undeniably entertaining, folks are starting to question just how much of his stories are real.
The whole gym. The whole gym.
Like
70 kids without a gun. Like, yo, everybody give me your coats, give me your Walkmans.
The problem comes when the fun fades and the stories turn unbelievable, the kind where anyone with common sense knows something's off. One of his boldest claims? Joe once said that back in high school, he robbed his entire gym class. Not 5 or 10 kids, he claimed about 70.
I couldn't even carry it. Some of the guys I robbed had to help me carry the stuff with them.
And all without a single weapon. According to him, he simply walked in, and every teenager in the gym willingly handed over their belongings. Then, like a twist out of a comedy skit, Joe added that he couldn't carry all the loot, so some of the kids he robbed actually helped him take it out.
He robbed a whole gym. A Bronx school gym. The Bronx.
That detail sent the internet rolling their eyes. Content creator Will Mills spoke on it too, saying the whole scenario made zero sense. A Bronx gym full of 70 kids and no resistance, no questions.
It just be exaggerations. Because I'm pretty sure he probably robbed maybe 1 or 2. Because I knew dudes that I went to school with like that. But 70? Come on. Come on, man.
Mills admitted maybe Joe did shake down 1 or 2 classmates. That part's believable. But 70 by himself and with victims helping out, that's where Joe's storytelling crosses into straight-up fiction. That crazy gym class story wasn't the only one. Fat Joe's dropped several others that sound just as far-fetched, like his so-called link to Tupac.
They asked me the question, yo, Joe, what you think about Tupac and all that? I said, yo, he's cool, but, you know, if they step to me, it's gonna be Tupac's locked up upstate in New York. The Puerto Ricans hear that, and they're, Poppy, Tupac got beef with Fat Joe.
In 1995, while talking on the radio about the East Coast versus West Coast beef, Joe claimed his words sparked issues with Puerto Rican inmates loyal to him. He said Pac caught wind of it and called him directly from prison asking for help with a Puerto Rican inmate giving him problems. Joe bragged that they cleared the air, no bad blood, and that he even told Charlie Rock LD to look out for Pac behind bars. But Pac's cousin, William Lisa, destroyed that narrative in an interview. He said while Joe did hold weight with Puerto Rican crews, Pac never needed him.
Phone call from Greg Nice, who pretty much put me in the game, one of my brothers. He said, yo, Joe, I got Pac on the other line. I was like, Pac?
The prison Pac was in already had people waiting to protect him. They showed love with care packages from the jump, and Pac didn't even want outside favors. Hussein also pointed out Pac was moved to segregation only because prison officials worried about incidents with his powerful connections, not some random inmate threat. So Pac reaching out to Joe for help sounds like another tall tale.
Yo, these Puerto Ricans is on me. Like, you said something in the radio. I don't got a problem with you, Joe. Like this, I know what's up, this. And so, you know, we sent the kite out to the Puerto Ricans and be like, nah.
And just like that, Fat Joe's Tupac story joins the long list of exaggerations, right alongside the Big Pun claims about taking care of his family. After Big Pun's death, Fat Joe painted himself as the loyal friend who supported Pun's widow, saying he gave her money, tried to launch a business for her, kept her secure financially. But Gangu Gu Roach, an expert in recovering royalties, blew that story apart. According to Gangu, the truth was the opposite.
I know he got strength with Puerto Ricans, his people. But as far as Tupac being in prison, having to call Joe to keep the Puerto Ricans off his back because they think that he got beef with Joe in the street or some, I don't know about that.
He said Joe actually stole royalties from Poon's family for 14 years. Fake royalty statements were allegedly created, with Jelly Bean Benitez helping funnel bogus paperwork to Poon's wife. She had tried lawyer after lawyer before Gangu stepped in, and once he did, he brought Joe to court and exposed everything. What makes it worse is Joe went public acting like none of this ever happened. He told interviewers he gave her money, false. He insisted there was never a court case, also false. Gangu admitted he was stunned people still believe Joe's lies so easily.
A lot of people who run the prisons in the New York State penal system are people that we know. They people that love us. They family members, man.
Then came the movie scandal. When a big pun biopic was in the works, producers wanted Joe involved to boost the project. But Gangu said Joe allegedly refused unless Pun's widow went on record clearing him of stealing. She wouldn't because she knew the truth. Joe had stolen from her. That pushed Joe from storyteller into straight-up thief territory. And somehow, his fan base still treats these tales like facts. Just last year in 2023, Joe sat down with Cam Capone and dropped another bombshell. He claimed he and the Notorious B.I.G. secretly recorded an entire project together, around 8 to 10 songs, but said it never saw daylight because it was loaded with disses aimed at Tupac.
In a prison where people was going to walk all over him, that wasn't going to be the situation. He was in prison with people who were strong.
On the surface, Fat Joe's claim about recording with Biggie didn't sound too crazy. They were both New Yorkers, crossed paths often, and respected each other. So at first, fans thought maybe it was true. But once people compared Joe's different stories over the years, it started to collapse.
In the Clinton, there were people already with care packages for him. Like strong people that is telling Pac, if you got problems, let me know. I'm gonna make sure that the CEOs know blah, 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 and this and that. And Pac telling them, nah, that's all right, I don't need none of you guys to help me with nothing.
In September 2018 on Vlad TV, Joe admitted they only managed to record 4 songs before scrapping the album, with Puff Daddy and the Hitmen producing.
Knowing Pac's connection with some of the strongest people in Clinton, taking him out of population and putting him in segregation so that he don't incite anything. Does that make sense to you? That some Puerto Ricans is gonna put pressure on him so that Pac can call Joe, of all people?
Fast forward to March 2021, and during a live with Swizz Beatz and Timbaland, the number magically changed. Now he said they did 5 songs. Then Lil Cease, who was basically Biggie's shadow, stepped in. In December 2021, Cease told Vlad TV that Big wasn't about dissing Pac at all.
He passed, she had hundreds of thousands of dollars. I thought I did the right thing. She spent the money unwisely, right? She comes back and says, Joe, I'm doing bad again. We give her a check out of our pockets. We say, yo, we gotta take care.
He flat out told Junior MAFIA if anyone recorded a diss track, he'd cut them off. That was Big's mindset. Keep it about music, not petty beef. If he was that strict with his own crew, why would he suddenly flip and record a whole album of disses with Joe?
For the radio basically saying, I gave her $750,000, I gave her $250,000, I told her enough's enough. Everybody bought it and believed it. It was all lies. In mediation, we had him admit that he never gave her $1 in his life.
Oh, so he didn't give her no
Nothing,
money?
not $1 in his life, he never gave her, period.
By January 2022, Cease cleared it up once more on The Art of Dialogue.
After he passed away, Joe was telling her that, oh no, he owed me money. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, a bunch of fake royalty statements started to come biannually.
He directly denied ever seeing or hearing about Biggie recording with Fat Joe. Conversations? Maybe. But actual songs? None. Cease said it himself. There was no secret collab, no hidden tapes, just another Fat Joe exaggeration. Cease made it clear.
About 14 years, from about 2000 to 2014, fake royalty statements was coming out.
2000 to 2014?
Yeah. Joe used Jelly Bean Benitez as a publisher. Jelly Bean Benitez was Madonna's ex-boyfriend from the early 80s. He produced a bunch of Madonna records back in the early 80s. He remixes, he DJs now.
Biggie wasn't the kind of rapper to drop an entire album of diss tracks. A clever jab here and there? Sure, but a whole tape targeting Pac? No way, especially when the East versus West feud was already tearing the game apart. And then there's that mysterious internet rumor.
Royalty statements, the same stuff that they had, it probably took me like a minute and a half to see the deception. I called her up, told her I paid for the case, paid for the auditor, took him to court.
Supposedly, a clip once lived on World Star Hip Hop where Diddy flat out denied any knowledge of a Fat Joe and Biggie project. The problem? Nobody can find it anymore. Maybe it vanished, maybe it never existed, but it's now treated like lost hip-hop folklore. What fans do know is this: Diddy never left money on the table. If a Biggie project had really been sitting in the vaults, he would have found a way to release it. Unless, of course, the songs really were disrespectful shots at Pac, in which case shelving them might have been the safer play.
Big Pun movie and stuff like that, right? And basically, we were like, hey, let's get Joe involved. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be bigger with Joe. If you do it without Joe, Joe can get all these other people involved. But he was basically saying like, well, if you go on Instagram or if you go out there and tell publicly that I never stole from you, then I'll work with you. Otherwise, I'm not working with you. She's like, why would I do that? You stole from me.
Cuban Link also chimed in and wasn't buying Joe's claims. He's repeatedly accused Fat Joe of bending the truth and gave his own first-hand story. According to him, he, Pun, and Joe once hit Diddy's studio where they ran into Biggie. It was Cuban's first time meeting the legend, and Big had an idea for a record with a Spanish gangster-style intro. Since Cuban was the only one fluent in Spanish, Diddy pushed him to try it. Nervous at first, he got encouragement from Poon and stepped into the booth. Together, he and Pun recorded the intro Big wanted, and Biggie loved it. He hyped them up for their work, then Fat Joe jumped on the mic afterward to add his touch. Things took a wild turn when Cuban Link accused Fat Joe of straight-up rewriting history. According to Cuban, Joe's been claiming credit for the Spanish intro he and Pun recorded with Biggie, spinning it into proof of an entire Biggie collab album.
He basically said that he never gave her $1, zero. So the $750 he was talking about, he lied. The $250 he's talking about, he lied. As you see now, people are starting to see that he lies a lot, but I don't understand why nobody reprimands him.
Cuban shut that down, saying it was just one song, no album ever existed. But Joe's habit of overreaching didn't end there. In 2022, he caused another stir when he claimed he was the reason Trick Daddy and Pitbull got their record deals. That didn't sit right with Miami OG Uncle Luke, who wasted no time blasting Joe on Instagram. Luke said, "I love Joe, but I discovered Trick Daddy."
Songs, you know what I'm saying? But they was like really disrespectful and hateful, and so he died and Tupac died.
And how many songs did you guys do?
I don't know, but a couple, not maybe 8 songs, 10 songs, like that.
His first record was With Me when he got out of jail, and I signed Pitbull after hearing his battle rap tapes. I even signed him to Luke Records. Luke emphasized why it mattered. He wanted to give Miami's Cuban talent a shot.
They stuff Tim, and they always say I lie or I say too much. I worked on an album with Biggie. We cut about 5 songs together.
He added that he was the one who helped launch DJ Khaled from underground radio into the mainstream. Deion Sanders even jumped in, backing Luke with a comment, "Tell them, hero, Luke's always been that dude, still is." The music you hear today came from his fight and conviction.
Interview from Fat Joe, and he said that him and Biggie was working on an album together, and he said that they had a whole lot of Tupac disses on the album. How you feel about him saying that?
I don't think so. I'm sure I was around for a lot of stuff, and I didn't hear none of that at all.
Joe then tried Damage Control, going live with Uncle Luke to clarify. But instead of owning up, he claimed he wasn't saying he discovered Trick or Pit, just that he played a role in getting them signed. The problem? Luke looked visibly unconvinced on camera, and fans roasted Joe for sounding scattered and unbelievable. Trick Daddy himself later weighed in, saying flat out it made no sense for an East Coast rapper like Fat Joe to take credit for a Miami artist come up, especially in an era when East Coast Southern tensions were still thick.
Big, hey, yo, tell them what you want from them so they could do it in the studio, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they could do it, you know, because you say you wanted some Spanish shit, you know what I'm saying? And, Pun and Joe, was there, and Pun looked at me. I was the rookie at the time, real rookie, like, oh, shit, y'all want me to do this? So they both put me to do okay? So me and Pun went. So then after me and Pun went and did our stuff, Biggie was like, yeah, he was hyped up. Then Joe went in there and he put his spice on top on a separate track by himself.
Trick made it crystal clear. There were no Southern rappers linking up with East Coast crews in those days. The relationship was fractured. So when Fat Joe claimed he helped take Trick's music to secure a deal with no payout attached, Trick said bluntly, "I just don't see that happening."
It was that little snippet right there to sell the fact that he did an album with Biggie. Incredible liar. Disgusting.
To fans, his logic was airtight. Everyone knew how East Coast rappers looked down on the South at that time. The idea of Joe playing savior for a Miami artist felt like pure fiction.
I took his made sure that they played it. They wasn't never gonna play it. 6 months later, he was rich. Pitbull, I took his demo and got him signed. Trick Daddy, I took his and got him signed.
Trick even suggested Joe might just be misremembering or making things up entirely. The fallout was heavy. Critics accused Fat Joe of rewriting history, trying to insert himself into moments owned by black artists who actually built the lane. And then came the snitch allegations that Joe's been battling for years.
Now, I know you discovered Trick. I know you discovered Pitbull. I never said I discovered them. Luke, I took his demo out of love for hip-hop.
His denials didn't help. When he went live to address the rumors, he dodged and rambled instead of putting the issue to rest, leaving fans more suspicious than before.
Joe loved him like a brother. I believe that he loved me like a brother. As far as him hearing about me or hearing my music and taking it to somebody to hear it, probably did. For me to think that somebody from the East Coast was gonna get a brother from the South, let alone Miami, and take his music and go get him a deal with no points, no screens attached, and no nothing, that I don't see that happening.
Yes, Fat Joe's name still carries weight in hip-hop, but these controversies have cracked his image. Some see him less as a storyteller and more as someone addicted to exaggeration.
Has never been a rat in his life, has never told on a person in his life. I kill myself before I tell on somebody. Today's about love or hate. Now, meaning, we call people haters.
What's your take, legend or liar? Say what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this with a real hip-hop head, and make sure you're subscribed for more wild, untold stories. Catch you in the next one.